Yes, hello everybody. Welcome back. It's fantastic to have everyone in for the last hour of this three-day symposium. We are now switching lanes to the topic of marketing for member loyalty and engagement. So please put any questions you have in the chat. We will be hearing from two fantastic presentations today now to close out what's been a wonderful 3 days. So many people doing fantastic work and bringing amazing insights. These presentations are no different. Our two speakers today are both graduate students of the International Centre for Cooperative Management. And the first presentation we have today, I know, is going to be a theme very close to the heart of many cooperators I've worked with over the last decade, measuring and communicating the cooperative difference to strengthen member engagement. It's not an easy thing to do, and Susanna Collins will be leading us through a case study. So to introduce our first speaker, Susanna Collins is a consultant based in British Columbia, specializing in member engagement and strategic planning for cooperatives and other member-based organizations. She holds a Master of Management in Cooperatives and Credit Unions from St. Mary's University, Halifax, as I mentioned, and brings over 25 years of experience in marketing, communications, and organizational development. Susanna serves on the board of the BC Co-op Association, CMEC, and is a founding member of the GIA Consulting Co-op. And we'll put some links to some of those organizations, because I know they'll be acronyms. So without further ado, I would like to open the floor to Susanna.
Thank you so much. It's really great to be here with everybody. I'm going to just share my screen here. Okay. Oh, just a second. Just a second. Sorry. Let me try that again. Let me try that one more time. It's funny, you do tests and then they still don't work.
I definitely had gremlins in my session and Erin had to share my slides for me, so I sympathize, definitely.
That was looking good for us, Susanna. We were seeing your slide in full screen.
Yes, thank you. But I wasn't seeing my notes, and so I did something wrong. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry.
Okay, should we have Tara share?
No, I think I can. I think I've got it now. Okay. So back to you guys. Wait a second.
While Susanna's getting her
just
slides up, if anybody wants to say hello in the chat and let us know where you're coming in from, we'd love to hear it.
Oh my goodness. Tara, thank you. Okay, so Tara is sharing for me. Thank you very much, Tara, for jumping in there. You're amazing. Okay, so thank you. All right, so I am really excited to be here today to talk with you about this work that I did when I was marketing director at Central Co-op in Seattle. We were really keen on making sure that our messaging was authentic and data-driven so that our members understood and our entire community understood that we were walking the talk. And this was really driven, I think, a lot because we were in the grocery space where all of the big players really got super excited about natural and local and organic and all of these things because they realized that it was a big market opportunity for them. But they were doing it in such a way that they would put up big signs that said local or big signs that said organic, but there wouldn't be any tie-in to the actual product that they were selling or to the actual things that they were doing. So one example that we always laughed about was there was a grocery store in Seattle that put up a sign that said local pineapple, which was just like an absurdity. And so we decided that we really needed to tie things in really specifically. And one of the ways, and so I'm here to talk to you about some of the ways that we did that to try to really show, here's where our values are, and here you can see exactly how we are living them out. Let's go. So I'm going to be using this case study of Central Co-op. I was the marketing director there for 6 years, doing some really exciting changes. So let's see. Next slide, Tara. I'm just going to give you some background on the co-op quickly. Central was founded as a part of the second wave of grocery co-ops in the 60s and 70s in the US. And it was founded by consumers who were looking for access to natural, bulk, organic, and whole foods. It was a consumer cooperative when it was founded. Let's go to the next slide. 40 years after founding, in 2015, the co-op was a thriving full-service grocery store and a community hub with fresh deli focused on organic ingredients, certified organic produce, meat, and bulk departments. And the store was doing over $20 million a year in annual turnover. So we were a real going concern, and it was really amazing what everyone had built. When I joined the co-op, I joined under the leadership of Dan Arnett. He's another graduate of the program. And so he really brought this very clear cooperative vision to the business and was really concerned about using the cooperative identity to really drive the business forward. So he was not only intent on creating an amazing grocery store, but he was also focused on being a transformational force in the community. One example of that is that he really, aggressively pursued increasing the minimum wage for the staff at the co-op. This is $15 an hour now, looks a little bit low, but at the time that we adopted this in 2015, we were the highest paying grocery store, I think, in Seattle for entry level wage. And then when you take in our benefits package and everything, it was a really amazing package. So this is just one example of how we were really trying to, lead the way in bringing the community forward. So in that same year that we announced the $15 entry level wage, we also, the board also proposed that we would join with the Tacoma Food Co-op and at the same time transition from being a consumer-owned co-op into a worker and consumer-owned co-op. We put both of these proposals forward to the members through a special election, and both of the proposals passed with close to 100% approval and a historically high voter turnout. So in 2015, we became a solidarity cooperative or a multi-stakeholder cooperative with worker and consumer ownership. It was an extremely exciting time. Can you go to the next slide? Thank you. At the same time, we adopted 5 additional principles to add to the International Cooperative Alliance's 7. This was just to help us guide our operations and for the co-op and to communicate to the membership really where our values were as a store, as a cooperative community. So we added concern for ecosystems, concern for workers, skilled cooperative management, strategic leadership, and innovative culture. And on these additional 5 really were aimed at really clarifying what where our values were, and also helping us understand that, and helping our community understand that we were really seeking to be that leader, and that we were going to be trying to do things differently. Next slide. So we made talking about our principles a regular part of our messaging. We had our principles up in store signage. We had newsletter features. We tied every principle that we could through our marketing. So when we were advertising our elections, we would say, democratic member governance. When we were trying to do our shared capital campaign, we emphasized principle 3, member economic participation. We really tied graphically and messaging wise everything back to the principles that we could. On the left, you see this graphic, just the sort of the row of rainbow colors. That is just a page from one of our newsletters. This was a regular recurring feature in our newsletters where we just included our principles with the definitions in almost every newsletter. On the right, you see a spread from one of our co-op month newsletters, where we not only note what our principle is, but then we tie it back directly to an action that the co-op is taking or one of our business activities. So we show not only what our principle is, but how we are embodying that so that people could really understand how we were walking the talk. And this, we really tried to do this in every possible case that we could. Next slide. I just want to share this because this really was where the inspiration for what I'm really here to talk about came from. What we have here is an example of what the National Cooperative Grocers put out. They actually did this in 2012. They did an economic impact study for the entire grocery cooperative system in the United States. And they wanted to compare how grocery cooperatives were performing against conventional grocery stores in terms of their local impact. Now, I thought this was absolutely amazing. I just loved it. I took it to Dan and I said, Dan, we got to use this. We got to get these bags. We got to get this signage. And he said, it's great. It's really great. He said, I think we perform better than these numbers. So I don't want to use this, even though it's wonderful, because I think it will understate our performance, which I was like, oh man. So that was the seed for me. For what I was finally able to do. But I started out with this. I started out with these little flyers. You can see here, these are flyers that we would create over several years, where we were, instead of doing the graphic that NCG did, I said, okay, well, we'll try to make our own, where we're really highlighting our own specific metrics. So hundreds of independent Washington companies reflected on our shelves. We have 3 certified organic departments, really specifically showing our entry-level wage, specifically showing our community giving. And we had these, again, these were newsletter features. We put these on postcards and mailed them to our neighborhood. We put them in big posters all over the store. We had them for takeaways in the store. We plastered these everywhere, so nobody could miss really what we were doing to bring value to the community, and also to reflect the values of our membership. But I was still really bothered because what we learned from the National Cooperative Grocers graphic was that the average conventional grocery store returns 23 cents of every dollar spent to the local economy. And we learned that the average cooperative returns around 37 cents to the local economy. But I really wanted to know what we were doing. Dan said that we were doing way better than that. But I was like, well, what are we doing? I want to be able to tell people exactly how much of every dollar they spend at our store actually goes back to our community. And we were thinking about that in terms of Washington State. That was our definition of local. So we engaged an economic impact firm called Civic Economics. They are based in Chicago, and they are able to really analyze the financials of institutions and really dive into where their money is going. And so in 2017, we engaged them to do a deep dive into our books and to analyze our spending and determine exactly how much of every dollar that we made at Central Co-op went back into Washington. And here is what they found. So the green pie is the central co-op pie. The blue pie is the average co-op pie, and the golden pie is the conventional grocer pie. You can see that we were really doing exceptionally well. We were so excited to see that over half of every dollar spent at Central Co-op was going back into our local economy. And one of the things that was really fun for us was that we had even a little slice here, a little sliver that shows on ours for our community giving. And so that was something that we were just so excited about. This was way better than I ever could have imagined. And we were all just jumping around. We were so excited. So can we go to the next slide, Tara? So these are some of the graphics that we came out with to help tell our story. We put these up as giant posters all over our stores. We highlighted these graphics in our newsletters. We put them on flyers and mailed them out as postcards. We featured them in our advertising and our paid advertising, and more. Just everywhere we could put these, we put these. The pie you see in the top left graphic, it became kind of our like logo or for all the things impact related that we do at our store, because of that pie chart that showed that more than half of the pie was staying in Washington State. Okay. So this was great because this happened the year that we were turning 39 and right before our 40th anniversary. So we were able to really use this information for a lot of impact moving forward through some of our next really big initiatives. But right when we got the information, we were able to create a plan that included 3 really complementary elements: community outreach and engagement. Obviously, we wanted everyone to know about this. Stories in the media, and public affairs and government relations. So let's move forward. I see I might be running out of time. So for outreach, we did a number of things, but one thing that was super fun was we had a pop-up pie stand on our birthday. So on our 39th anniversary, we went down to a very busy intersection in our neighborhood, and we passed out 500 locally baked pies, and each pie had decoration on the top that was colored in. You can see it probably better on the next slide, but each side was colored in slightly more than half, and they all said 52%. So we were able to pass out flyers. We even had napkins that had the information on it. So people were, in really like, what's the word I'm looking for? Absorbing this information. The pies. So the napkins that we passed out said, when you shop at Central Co-op, 52 cents of every dollar you spend stays in Washington State. The napkins also featured the pie illustration, and we worked with a local unionized bakery to use organic ingredients. So it was all, fully related to our values. We handed out over 500 pies that day and engaged so many people. We were also able to use this event as a hook for the media. So we had media show up and take photos and do features about our not only our pie stand, but also our wonderful metrics. And we ended up running out of pies within about 2.5 hours. So that was really exciting. Next slide, Tara. There's some good pictures from the day. So here you can see our pies, you can see our little napkin. It was just a really fun time. So that was one of the great things we were able to do. We also got a lot of stories in the local media, and ended up with almost 250,000 media impressions. And then we also had a lot of social media coverage. So our own social media around this effort had alone 10,000 impressions, but then all of our partners in the community shared the information widely. And we were able to really push it out to lots and lots of places. So next slide. Thank you. We also took the opportunity to really pursue a public affairs strategy with this. So we thought, not only was it important for our community members and our membership to understand what we were doing, but we needed our local officials to understand this as well. Partly because one of the reasons this was so clear to us is that we were in a very turbulent environment in Seattle at the time. Development was changing the neighborhood dramatically. There were zoning changes, there were taxation changes on the table. There were all of these things where we really wanted everyone to understand the value that Central Co-op was bringing to the neighborhood and why they needed to really help us and take us as an exceptional case, not just as another grocery store like any other. And that really proved to be quite helpful. So we sent emails, I sent emails to 26 public officials, including city council members, our county officials, state senators, state representatives, and I even went to national senators and national representatives as well, just to make sure they knew our name, knew what we were doing, and understood that we were special. The outcome of that was 6 meetings, and we had then 4 additional on top of meetings. We were able to communicate additionally on top of that. Because of this, we were invited to testify regarding proposed co-op legislation before the state Senate committee. So actually, someone reached out to us and said, one of the state representatives reached out and said, "Hey, I'm changing the co-op laws. What do you think?" So we were able to review the laws and make comments on the law change before it went into effect. We got consideration of the co-op difference in proposed legislative amendments to say co-ops should not be treated as conventional businesses. One example of that was a major tax initiative that they were planning to put forward in Seattle, where the average grocery store would have been taxed dramatically, but we were able to go to our city council member and say, if you do this, we won't be able to do any more community giving because you'll basically take our entire community giving budget and turn it into taxes. So that was really helpful. Okay. So the impacts of our impact reporting in the end were that we discovered how amazing we are, which is worth a lot. We were able to engage our community. We had lots of conversations with public officials, but then downstream of that, we were awarded the Heart of Seattle Award, which was really amazing, a popular vote by folks in Seattle about their best businesses. And we were able to actually raise a substantial amount of money from our membership when we went forward with a capital campaign and asked our members to support a brand new store opening in Tacoma. We were able to raise almost $3 million from our members, and that was well over our goal of 2.5 million from our membership. So by showing people what we do and explaining to them the value that we created, we were really able to turn it into more value for the community. Okay, let's see.
Just to say,
our
we
next slide is
probably
that.
ought to
Do we have
swap
time?
over to our next presenter in about 1 minute or 2 minutes if we can. Thank you.
Okay, do we have time for the video?
Hey you, come on, I want to show you something. Come on! Welcome to Central Co-op.
In 1978.
In 1978.
In 1978.
In 1978, a group of Seattleites committed to healthy food,
Sustainability and social responsibility got together
and formed Central Co-op,
A community-owned grocery store.
Over the last 40 years,
Our co-op has grown to become a community institution. And today it still brings healthy,
everyday,
and artisan foods to our community.
doing business in a way that reflects the values of our now over 14,000 members.
14,000 members.
What I appreciate about the co-op is its dedication to the micro businesses in Seattle, especially in the food business.
20% of the money our shoppers spend is on products made in Washington, compared to only 4% at most grocery chains.
I trust the people who work at the co-op to make responsible choices about where they get the food.
52 cents of every dollar that is spent at Central Co-op stays within the state of Washington, compared to 23 cents at conventional grocery chains.
We got in the co-op about halfway through our first year of business, and I feel like you guys kind of watched us grow.
I love the deep commitment to good food and good customer service that you find here.
I am a German master butcher by trade. The customers of the Central Co-op here, they appreciate that kind of knowledge and what I bring to the table.
It says something about your product if you're a Central Co-op product.
It's not just one person determining the fate of the food that's available to be purchased.
We're keeping profits in our communities, and we're making decisions about where we want to see those profits go.
We are a kind of a national leader on a lot of really important societal things, such as paying people a livable wage, giving people health insurance that works for them.
Our co-op pays double the percentage of revenue on wages and benefits compared to the average U.S. grocery chain.
Like I've had my doctors tell me, your insurance is better than mine.
This is my to-go place. I meet people here, I talk to customers, I meet the staff, and it's just a place where, everybody knows your name.
It really feels like it's a community. So we're really happy to be in the store.
And I often run into people I know. I know a lot of people who work here, but also often I see friends and colleagues and neighbors. So I've joked with friends that it's like our neighborhood community center.
They're supportive. They know what it takes for a small farm, and they know what good food is, and they know what taste is, and I think they got it going on.
We're so proud to have been here, strengthening our community for 40 years.
And we look forward to cooperating for a better world for generations to come.
For generations to come.
For generations to come.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Susanna. That was fantastic. We will move now to we'll go straight to our second presenter today. We'll leave time, you can leave some questions in the comments and connect with our participants outside to have anything answered as well specifically. So I'd like to introduce Caroline Cloutier. She's a seasoned manager and communications professional in the cooperative funeral sector with over 25 years of experience in Quebec. Since 2010, she has served as Director of Marketing and Communications at the Cooperative Funéraire de Grand Montreal, sorry for my pronunciation, where she leverages her strategic vision, expertise in corporate communications, and leadership to support the organization's growth and visibility. So over to you, Caroline. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's exciting for me, and I will ask you to be a little indulgent with my English. I don't speak English at home. So I'm very glad to present you marketing for the co-op advantage in funeral services. And I'm gonna move.
Oh, I'm going to see you right now.
Oh, there's some noise. The marketing for a co-op, funeral co-op, it's a different way to serve families. Funeral service is about community care, not just death care. And in Quebec, funeral cooperatives prioritize dignity, solidarity, and transparency over profit, forming a network dedicated to these values. And here you can see on the map of Quebec, every little black dot is a branch of a funeral co-op. There are about 100 different branches, but 19 co-ops. And we gave ourselves a federation in 1987. So we have the strength of a network, but with a federation, we are even stronger. Because with the federation, we have we give ourselves expertise, like for accounting, for example, or for HR consulting, and also we get together to purchase. So we have a pool for buying goods. So in funeral business, goods are caskets. So that decreases the price. We can negotiate better because we are 19 co-ops together. And also another pool that we have is the printing pool. So to be able to print nice magazines or brochures alone, we would not be able. But all together, we can access to those nice material. So, and it decreases it gives us scale economies. I'm sure you all understand that. And in Quebec, there's about 80,000 deceased every year. This number is growing year after year. And 1 family out of 5 choose a funeral cooperative. And this part of the pie, let's say, is increasing year after year. So we know that 100% of the people who die, they need a funeral home, So if we don't have the person, the family, it's because it is somewhere else. It's impossible to not die, and not need a funeral home. So that's how it's easy for us to calculate with the number, with the Quebec statistics. It's easy to calculate how many, what's our shares, Thomas, I'm letting you the chat. I'm not looking at the chat, but if there's something you want me to answer, just tell me because I'm not looking at the chat.
I sure will.
Good. My mandate is marketing the co-op advantage. I am totally passionate about it. I've been talking about funeral co-ops for the last 30 years, but it's my everyday job for the 15 past years. And for that, I used numerous means, tools, ideas. So here you can see me on the radio show. I used to have an 8-minute spot every Tuesday morning talking about either death or cooperation, but always in the goal of educating people. So I did that for 5 years, every week. At the same time, I had a column in the local newspaper, again, to educate, and hundreds of presentations, sometimes in-house, but most of the time in elderly's home or organism or charities. So promotion, so you know what I do now, this is my job. And this is what I like. I want to transport you like in time to the origin of the funeral movement, funeral cooperative movement in Quebec. It started in 1942. First funeral home with a co-op model was established in Château Richer, that is very near of Quebec City. This funeral co-op is still alive, which is a fun word to say in a death circumstance. Unfortunately, that co-op is not part of our federation. Our federation is not mandatory. So there's about 5 co-ops in Quebec who decided to do their job alone. I am sorry for them and I hope that one day they'll join. But that co-op is still alive. But the movement really came in the 1970s. And you saw on the first picture the nice hearse with the horses. That it was like that at that time. So the movement came in the 70s, where people got together to create a funeral cooperative. The reason is simple. At this time, the province of Quebec was the place where the funerals were the most expensive in the country of Canada. So that's why the people got together in order to give themselves funeral goods and services of quality at a price that is fair. So it started one member at a time, and the movement grew. They were motivated, of course. They were not necessarily funeral professional. They were absolutely not. But they had the motivation of giving the citizen something more accessible and human services rooted. You can see here on the pamphlet, which is an archive from 1977, que pouvons-nous faire? What can we do? Founding a cooperative. That was the economic solution. And not only economic, human. You see here the funeral home from South Shore of Montreal, 1985. So you can see that it started very modest. But the members had a vision, they had the dream of being big one day. Here it's a column in the newspaper saying, in 2000, saying that the co-op of South Shore of Montreal is continuing its social role of education by having an activity of open house so the people can visit the laboratory, the crematorium, educating people always has been very important. Principle number 5 of the ICA. So when I was talking about dreaming, having a vision of one day having something big, you can see here the new head office and operational center of the co-op of the Greater Montreal. We inaugurated the building last year, and we have now something very comfortable to welcome the family who want to assist to the cremation or want to prepare the body or just take some time, with the person who died. This is not a funeral home. This is an operational center. Okay? So we needed that space because now the co-op du Grand Montréal serves more than 2,000 families a year. So we needed that space. And for a good marketing, we always work with trust and transparency. What I mean is that our employees do not always get the same salary. They are not paid with they don't benefit from the high bill or big invoice. They always have the same salary. So that means that there's no sales pressure. They don't try to sell things that the families would not need. And also always have transparent pricing. That means that you can't buy a package or a bundle that's worth that price. No, each items you need has a price. Because when someone buys a bundle or a package and do not want one service, how do you evaluate it? So for us, it is clear that each item you need has a price. it's transparent. And what is the most important for us is the human, always the human. So we are there before with the pre-need arrangement, we are there during the event, but we're there after. And after after the service, we have a professional employee that calls every family just to see how it goes. Sometimes it's one quick call, sometimes it could be many phone calls until the person feels better. And we also send through Post Canada Post, brochures that are built following the evolution of the bereavement. And we sent those brochures for a year. We did a survey recently because we wanted to know if paper was still the best way to communicate with the families, and still this is very appreciated. They can just pass it through a friend or another member of the family. So those are initiatives that we do. And the community impact. We decided, because our co-op is in good financial health, we decided to increase our donation by 5 times. Because we want the money to stay in the community, and donations is not only money, but it could be time of volunteering. For example, a couple of weeks ago, 6 of our employees spent a day to trim 2 tons of potatoes at Moisson Rive Sud. Those potatoes are distributed to other charities. People can go and get the potatoes. So it was a fun team building for the employees, but very, very helpful for that organism, Moisson Rive Sud. So that's a way of helping the community that sometimes we forget because it's not a check, but it counts. And we want to address a different cause, like combat loneliness. We don't want elderlies to feel alone. So that's why we organize an activity called Parler de la mort, ça fait du bien. People are invited to come and chat about, just share stories, talk about everything that touches death, And it was quite a success. I presented that for 3 Wednesday morning. We decided to add another one on June 17th. I can't before because I'm going to Mondragon with St. Mary's. So important for us to combat loneliness and address food insecurity. We don't want people to lack of food. This is why we go and help different mission of charities that address that situation. And the third one is to promote environmental sustainability. Very, very important for us. And a little later, I'll show you some stuff that we do. Like, for example, we bought a hive. And the fourth point is the educational conference, social gathering. I think I told you already that I really appreciate doing that. It's important to have long-term vision over profit logic. We are owned by 40,000 members. So that ensures the longevity of our co-op. But in the entire province, it's 300,000 members. So we became a strong movement. And the money stays in the communities. So that's important to mention all the time, that we are not there to enrich a private owner. And how to measure the success is not only on measuring revenues, but the values, the quality of the service. That is very important. Marketing, there's some challenges in marketing funeral service. That is very delicate to talk about. So we have to get the good angle. We prefer to have a totally non-aggressive marketing approach. Some private funeral homes are a lot more aggressive. We prefer to promote our values instead of showing prices or discounts. And I still know, and I can tell that people don't know what is the difference between a cooperative and a private funeral home. So I still have a lot of education to do. What I can, just like little tips for you, how to energize the co-op brand, share your good ideas. My example is that we've been planting a tree for every person that dies, and who at the co-op, I mean. We've been planting a tree for that person since 2009. It took us years before telling the families that we plant a tree for your loved one. When we started mentioning that, the family were so excited, so touched. There's every week someone who asks me, where is the tree planted? So, why did we wait so long for something that good? So today I'm looking at making t-shirts with the logo of the program of the plantation. I made jars, I made posters, it's on the website, it's everywhere. It's a good shot, we should say it. Same thing with the hive. I didn't think that it would be that interesting for the members. What we did is at last annual meeting, we gave the honey from the hive, from the bees, to the members that were present. So they got their part of it, you know. It was such a success. So right now I'm looking to buy a second hive.
We have 1 minute, Caroline. Thank you.
Good.
Better wrap up.
And
thank you.
I think that to attract younger generation, they want an enterprise with values, you know, with mission values. So the co-ops are the best for that. So we got to mention what are our values. Very important. Solidarity, community engagement. So I think it's the most important. So I was pretty much timed with your minute. So what I believe is the cooperative model, it's a better way.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Fantastic. In the comments, there was so many people just showing an outpouring of support for both of those throughout both of those presentations. We had an absolutely amazing response, and I think some people were very much saying that they wanted to be involved. They wanted to duplicate the things that you were doing in their own areas and their own parts of the world. Do we have time for one very quick question, Erin? Or yeah, one very quick question. I do have just a technical question from Andrew on the funeral cooperative. Who are the members of the co-op? Are they people who have had pre-arranged funeral services, or people who have pre-arranged the funeral services?
Excellent question. So the 40,000 people that are members, they are alive. That's important, because sometimes people think that they are all dead. And when you become a member, you are ensured that the day of your death, you're going to have a rebate of 10% on the services. But you can become a member also because you want to have that rebate on the pre-need arrangement. Or you can become a member just because you want to support a local cooperative where you're a co-owner and you can be part of the decision. So you should become a member.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
$20 once in your life. So there's not a big impact in your revenue,
Yeah, no reason not to. And as John McNamara pointed out, a great way to combat some predatory behaviors and activities. So that's, I'm afraid we don't have any time for any other questions. We're going to move to close the event now, but I would just like to encourage all of you to reach out to our last two presentation speakers if you have other questions or would like to share your insights. I did see some LinkedIn links there as well, so you can go and connect with people directly and can keep the conversation going. I've had an amazing time, I'm just going to say that, and it's been a phenomenal 3 days for me. And I'm almost a little bit sad now to hand back over to Erin to do the close for this wonderful symposium. I'd like to share my heartfelt thanks with everybody that's contributed to this. It's been an amazing experience.